So you're here because you're trying to master multi-location SEO. Well, you're in the right place. My name's Brandon Kwan, and I'm the founder of Cannabis Marketing. And at this point in time, I've helped hundreds of dispensaries, and many of those dispensaries owning multiple retail stores in different states, different cities, and in different neighborhoods. And I'm here to help you do the exact same thing. If you don't believe me, you can go check out the case studies on my website. There's more than enough for you to see. I've worked with dispensaries such as Rocky Mountain Cannabis. They're at 18 locations. High Society Cannabis, 7 locations. The Dab 303, also 7 locations. Matchbox Cannabis, 6 locations. The list goes on and on. You get the point. I've worked with a lot of people and I've helped them all rank #1 on Google, and I'm here to help you do the exact same thing. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. Step 1, and arguably one of the most important things you need to do, is you need to create location specific website pages. So before I even get into all of this stuff, if at any point in time you want to rank your website for different keywords, be it location pages, brand pages, product pages, and you want to make sure it has the highest probability of ranking #1, you need to create separate and individual pages for each of those things. Just because you have a page that has a bunch of keywords doesn't mean you're going to rank #1. In general, the rule of thumb, depending on how good you are, it is 1 keyword phrase or actual word to 1 web page to what you want to rank. Getting into this, if you have 18 different locations, you need to have 18 different pages optimizing for all of those locations. So what you need to do is you need to create a dedicated web page for each store with unique content and local keywords. So you can't just go and duplicate the content on 1 page and duplicate that to the rest of the pages. You need to create unique content for all of the other pages on this site. The second one is that you need to implement structured data, or what's called schema, to help search engines understand your content more effectively. So what schema is, it's essentially a way that you can tell Google that you have specific information about your website. So different things like hours, reviews, where you're located. And this doesn't sit directly onto the website in terms of just like a little blurb on the site. It's actually a little piece of code that you can add to the back end of the website to showcase to Google to say, hey, this is where I am, this is where I'm located, these are my hours. So it helps Google more effectively understand what your website is all about. And when Google can understand what your website's all about, it will then rank you higher. The next thing is that you want to include essential details like business hours, contact information, and services. So other things to note on this page, you can add FAQs, customer reviews, and references to local landmarks for relevance. You also want to optimize the page for fast mobile loading and easy navigation. So there's 2 ways you can really test for mobile optimization, right? There's the, I'm going to check on my phone and then see how it goes. And then if it loads fast enough, it's good to go, right? That's probably the basic level. If it's taking too long to load on your phone, then you're obviously going to need to get that fixed. The second thing is when you go online, you can type in Google Page Speed Insights. And once you go ahead and do that, put in your website on Google Page Speed Insights, and it's going to pop out a number from 0 to 100. Hopefully you're not at 0, probably won't be. And what's going to end up happening is it's going to give you a score based on kind of its color, right? So red, green, so on and so forth. And then from there, it's going to provide you some actionable items so that you can go ahead and make the changes you need to speed up your website. So not only is it going to help your user experience, it's also going to help you rank higher on Google because that user experience is a lot better for your customers. Other things you can do is embed Google Maps to improve local search rankings and user experience. So we can see over here, right, we have Cookies. Cookies has all of their locations all over the states, so on and so forth. And ideally what you want to do is you want to build out specific pages for each of these cities, so then Google can really understand what your website's about and then how you can end up ranking a lot higher. Now, step 2, what you're going to want to do is manage local citations and listings. So, I've touched on this before, but this is equally as important. And the reason why local citations are important is not necessarily because of the traffic you get, but it's because of the authority that you get from having the same information all over the internet. And what I mean by that is when you're on Google Maps and you type in restaurant near me and the restaurant says it closes at 7 p.m. and let's say you go into that restaurant and it's 6 p.m. and then they say it's closed. You're not going to lose trust in the business. You're going to slowly lose trust if what the information on Google is correct. So it's of Google's highest priority to make sure you keep using their platform to make sure the information on Google is up to date and accurate as best as it possibly can be. By building out all of these listings, and I'm going to walk through this in a second, be it Yelp, Yellow Pages, Bing, whatever it is, The fact that you have the same information across the entire internet and the information is up to date and accurate, it means that Google could see that your listing on the Google Business Places has the highest likelihood chance of being up to date and accurate. So what you want to do next is you want to find all online directories where your business is listed. You want to fix any incorrect business information. And 3, you want to submit missing listings and remove duplicates. Google's pretty good at figuring out, small errors in your website, but this is more so about like authority. You don't want Google to have to figure out exactly what your business is about. If you say your business is Canna Dispensary R Us or whatever it is, right? And then on another listing, it just says Canna Dispensary, right? Those are 2 essentially different listings, and Google is not going to be sure if your listing is who you say it is. So things you can do is you can regularly check business listings with tools like Moz Local or Bright Local. Bright Local has a really cool tool where you can see on the back end where you can actually build out citations yourself. It's pretty cheap. I think it's about $2 per listing, and it shows you a list of citations to build out and a list of citations that they will build out for you. They will fix the duplicate listings, they will submit missing listings, and they will fix incorrect business information. So this is a very good place to start if you haven't done any of this already. The next one is optimizing for voice searches by using natural language in the FAQs. So I touched on this in the, in this create specific website pages point about creating FAQs, but depending on how fast you think the world of voice search is going to take over, by adding FAQs to the website, you provide Google and all these other search engines more content so that they can push forward. So if somebody says, hey, insert smart speaker, show me the best dispensary in insert area, you will have an FAQ that'll be able to answer that for you. And the last but not least is you want to make sure your business name, address, and phone number are the same everywhere. So whatever your name is on Google, make sure the name is the same on as Yelp, and make sure the name is the same on as Weed Maps, so on and so forth. By building out these citations and by fixing your listings, you are increasing your authority within the space, right? You are telling Google you are who you say you are. And Google can only verify that by looking at your other references across the internet. So it's similarly, if you own property and you want to rent out a spot, or even, if you're the owner of a retail store like a dispensary, right? And you ask for references from the employees that end up asking for, submitting their job application, the more references you get, the more confident you can feel that this person can deliver on the thing that they're saying. Same thing at the start of this video, I said, hey, take a look at my case studies so you can see all of my references. You don't believe me? Go check out the case studies on my website. There's more than enough for you to see. And I say all this to say is because Google is going to check your references. So if your references are off and incomplete, Google's going to be like, well, I'm not going to rank you here. Why am I going to show you to, the cream of the crop so that you can make money just because you don't have the right information online? And if you can possibly ask your customers to leave location specific reviews to improve trust in rankings. So making sure that each of your Google Maps profiles have specific location reviews, because it'll provide Google with a little bit more relevance. Hey, very quickly, if you're enjoying this video, I have something very special for you. In the links in the description below, you can check out the workbook that goes along with this specific video. It includes checklists, summaries, and a step-by-step action plan to take your dispensary to the next level. In addition to this, I have a cool little bonus where when you download your workbook, you'll have access to all the previous workbooks I've created, and then also all the future workbooks I'm going to create. So you're going to want to get it in the description below. Now back to the video. Now, last but not least is building a location-based internal linking strategy. So this sounds a little bit fancy, but as with everything that I do, I'll try and explain it as best as I possibly can. Right here, we can see your typical website structure, or your website should be structured. You have your homepage here, which is the main page, best dispensary ever. And then you're going to have your category pages, your sub pages, if you will. So you're going to have maybe a locations page, you'll have a blog page, you'll have an about page, you'll have a contact page, right? And all of these pages are going to sit below the home page. Then within that category, you're going to then have subcategories of the different things that you have. So for example, you have your home page here, and then you're going to have your locations page here. So this category is going to be locations. Underneath here, you will have location 1, then you will have location 2, and then you'll have location 3. And then within location 1, you will then have your subcategories of each of these locations. So if, let's say you have specific information about location 1, maybe it's new deals and discounts, maybe it's news and press releases related specifically to this one location, you can go ahead and add that into this subcategory right here. So what you want to do is you want to include drop-down menus in the navigation bar for quick access to each location, because you want Google to be able to crawl your website to make sure they can figure out the different pages. Again, you're no longer a one-store shop. You need to make sure your website is built out so that's much easier for Google to understand your website. It's not just, I have a home page, this is one city, and I put all my information on the home page. It's the home page is going to act as the funnel that then takes your customers and takes the Google crawling spiders to be able to take a look at your website and index it properly. So then what you also want to do is you want to link between those related location pages as well. So if your dispensary has multiple stores in the same region, you want to create nearby regions, sections with links to those stores. So example, if your store on your Los Angeles dispensary pages have links to other nearby LA locations, you can link to Hollywood, you can link to Venice Beach, and then you can link downtown. So what you want to do is not only do you want to make sure you have categories and location pages that are linked to each of these cities, you can also link these categories to themselves. And what ends up happening is then you have a website that is then built out like a web, so then Google can see all of the related pages all together. If you look at a subway map in, let's say, Toronto, it's not very good. If you've ever been in Toronto and you see the subway, it's just like a straight line and it goes like this. But if you go and you look at a subway line like Japan, you see it like a web where there's a lot of interconnecting pieces, so that Google can then make relations between the different pages on your website. So again, it's not just about you having one page, you have multiple dispensaries and you want to make sure that they can all benefit from the SEO authority that you're giving it because you're watching all of my videos. So the other things to note is you want to create this hierarchical linking structure, right? So the home page should link to all locations, and then each location page should link back to the home page and other relevant store pages. So this is called internal linking. It means that this page can then link to this page, but then it also has a hierarchical structure in terms of how your website needs to get built out. You'll see from this overall strategy, it's not too different from if you own a one location. If you owned a single location, you're going to create your single location page. You're still going to build out citations and listings, and then you're also going to build out your internal linking strategy, right? But the thing is, you just have to do more and make sure it's a lot more clean. So when you introduce more stores, you're introducing more complexity to what you have from an organization standpoint. Just think about all the general managers and bud tenders and all the stuff you have to deal with, and all the multiple SKUs, and then the different compliance in the different it's all different, right? So same thing from an SEO perspective, you just need to make sure it's done better and it's done more clean. So very quickly to summarize is one, you need to create your location specific pages. This is a massive one. If you don't have the pages on Google, then you're never going to rank because the pages aren't on Google in the first place. The second one is then you want to manage your citations and listings. If you've grown to multiple stores, you're going to need to fix and or add listings online so that all of your different stores have different citations built out for each of the individual stores that you're trying to rank online. And then the third one is building a location-based internal linking strategy so that all the different pages can link together. I know this video was a slightly more technical one, especially this third step, but you're in the big leagues now. This isn't just one location, right? You want to make sure you combine all of these things together. As with all of my YouTube videos, this is very generalist advice and information. I'm just putting the best information I can put out there to try and cover all my bases. But if you have any questions about your specific situation, about your region, and about how you should actually be building out your website, don't hesitate. Go check out the links in the description below, or go visit my website, Cannabis Marketing, and I'll be more than happy to help. So until next time, I'll see you later. Peace out. Hey, according to YouTube, this is the best next video for you. Go ahead and click it now.